Blind Date Revenge, the hidden. The screech of truck brakes cut through the chaos like a knife, silencing the jeers and cheers of the crowd in an instant. Everyone froze, their heads snapping toward the mall entrance. Dozens of black armored trucks, each emblazoned with a golden H logo that glinted in the overhead lights, lined the street from curb to curb. The ground seemed to vibrate under the weight of the vehicles, and even the chandeliers inside the boutique rattled slightly, casting flickering shadows over the stunned faces. Leo's smug grin vanished faster than a spark in water. His hand dropped from his phone, the timer still ticking down to 0, and his eyes widened so far they looked ready to pop out of his skull. He stumbled back a step, tripping over his own feet, and grabbed Selina's arm for support. Though she was just as frozen, her porcelain face drained of color, her red lipstick now a harsh contrast to her pale skin. The crowd fell deathly silent, the only sounds the idle rumble of the truck engines and the nervous swallowing of onlookers who'd been so quick to mock just moments before. The lead truck's door swung open with a loud thud, and a tall, broad-shouldered man in a tailored black suit stepped out. He was in his late 40s with a clean-shaven face, salt and pepper hair gelled back neatly, and cold, sharp eyes that scanned the crowd like a hawk. His posture was rigid, his movements precise, every inch the picture of a man who was used to being in control. He didn't waste a second. He strode toward the boutique, his dress shoes clicking loudly on the marble floor, and behind him, a stream of similarly dressed men filed out of the trucks, each carrying a large, heavy black duffel bag. When the man reached the entrance of the boutique, he stopped abruptly, his gaze locking onto me. For a split second, his cold expression softened, just a flicker, so subtle that only I could catch it. And then he bowed his head slightly, his voice deep and respectful, loud enough for everyone in the room to hear. "Master Savior, I apologize for the delay. Mrs. Hamilton sent us immediately upon your call. We have $100 million in cash, as requested." The words hit the room like a bombshell. "Master Savior?" The murmur rippled through the crowd, a wave of confusion and shock. People looked at each other, then back at me, their eyes widening with realization or maybe denial. The salesgirls who'd hesitated to ring up my purchase earlier stood with their mouths agape, hands covering their cheeks. The employee who'd tried to talk me down from angering the Jackson group stumbled backward, knocking over a display of watches, which clattered to the floor in a jingle that sounded like a mocking laugh. Leo's face turned from pale to green, then to a deep, blotchy red. He let go of Selina's arm and stumbled forward, pointing a trembling finger at the man in the suit. "Who the hell are you, and what do you mean, Master Savior? This guy's a nobody, a broke hillbilly. He can't have $100 million. He can't even afford a decent shirt." The man in the suit didn't even glance at Leo. His eyes remained fixed on me, waiting for my instruction. I brushed off the shoulder of my simple cotton shirt, still stained slightly with a drop of my own blood from the corner of my mouth, and stood up straight, my posture no longer relaxed, but regal, the way my mom had taught me to stand when I was a kid, back when she was drilling into me that I was more than just a regular boy. I looked at Leo, my voice calm, but cold enough to send a shiver down anyone's spine. "Leo, meet Mr. Carter. He's the head of my family's security team. And as for the money," I nodded toward the men carrying the duffel bags who had now filed into the boutique and lined up along the walls. "Go ahead, Mr. Carter, show him." Mr. Carter gestured to the first man in line, who stepped forward and unzipped his duffel bag. The room was flooded with the glow of stacks of $100 bills, neat, crisp, and endless. The man dumped the bag onto the counter, and the bills spilled over, cascading onto the floor like a golden waterfall. One by one, the other men followed suit, unzipping their bags and emptying them of cash. Soon, the counter, the floor, even parts of the display cases were covered in stacks of money, so much that it was impossible to look away, so much that it made the luxury watches and designer jewelry in the boutique seem insignificant by comparison. Leo's knees gave out. He collapsed to the floor, sitting in a puddle of his own sweat, and stared at the money with a look of pure terror. His mouth opened and closed, but no sound came out. He looked like a fish out of water, gasping